Here we are, folks, back again. Rich, it's good seeing you.
Hey, it's good to see you. It's good to be back on this July 5th, the day after our 250th birthday for the United States of America.
Yeah, it was kind of cool doing that. I mean, It was impressive. The stuff they did in D.C. and everywhere was kind of nice.
Well
And I'm
deserving.
very sure there were a lot of people that were triggered when Trump was speaking in South Dakota at the monument there.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a good feeling inside when you can trigger somebody and celebrate at the same time. That's always good.
Yes.
Well, today, folks, we have a guest on who's running for Arizona legislature in LD1, which is the area up here, Prescott, Chino Valley, Ashford, Seligman.
Yep.
And we got some questions to ask and some stuff going on up here. And we want to see what she's going to do about it and why we should vote for her. And like I said, I actually came to a conclusion the other day, Rich. We said we'd have any candidate or any political official come onto this show, ask them questions, including Democrats. But in the last couple of weeks, finding out that there's more communists in their party than meets the eye, that I said, we're just going to do conservatives. That's it.
That way we can get the truth out.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, folks, Shawn Dell Wildman. That's an awesome name. That is awesome. And to look at her, you wouldn't think that, but only your husband would know it, the wild part. Whether it's all the honeydews and things like that.
Well, she gets to represent, running to represent a beautiful area up there in northern Arizona. So
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's an honor. Yeah.
Yeah. Shawn Dell, you want to tell us a little bit about your Arizona experience?
I'd be
Where you're
happy
headed.
to. I'd be happy to. So, Curly, thanks for having me. It was really fun to get your invitation to come out here. Who knew? Who knew all this is going on out here in this little space he's got tucked away, kind of a private, very private setting. It's really fun.
You never know driving by.
You would never know.
Yeah.
And I love what he's got going on in here. It's really artfully and masterfully done. It's very inspiring to see all of this around us. I am Shawn Dell Wildman, and I got that name because I married my husband.
Oh, he's a wild man.
He's the wild man, and he comes from a long line of wild mans. So we've been married 44 years at this point.
All right.
And so I think we probably kind of rubbed off on each other by now. We're still together, 44 years, original marriage. So we started young, and we've stayed tough by the grace of God. Yes. And we've been blessed with 3 boys, with 3 sons. They're all men now. One of them has boys of his own, so we have little grandson Wildmans.
Yeah, they little wild kids.
Yes. And of course, they're adorable.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Yeah, my grandkids came up last week, and I met them up in Flagstaff. They were staying with my daughter.
Oh.
And it was awesome seeing them. And we got pictures together. And just a note out there, my grandson Easton got recognized by Arizona Department of Education for some test he took. He's in the top 10% in Arizona for kids. And he got recognized. He's even got a letter from Tom Horn. And that's pretty special. That says a lot, It says that he's kind of a chip off the old grandfather block. And
most definitely. Most definitely.
Actually, I think I don't know where he got it. Maybe, I don't know. but really smart kid. He likes to hunt and fish. In fact, last year when we went elk hunting, he came up for a couple days to go elk hunting. Really cool. Anyway, so you're running for office. Have you ever done this before?
I have. I ran the last election cycle. I came in late, and clean elections candidate this time also.
Right.
But came in late and did the best I could. There had some help, and we ended up doing way better than what anybody would have projected. So I clearly came in last out of two options. I was third, but learned a lot, and was asked to come back and try again. And so between the votes I got and then the undervotes, it just seemed like there was a lot of room to come back again. So I'm back. People have asked me to come back, and I think we're back earlier and stronger than we were before.
Good. That's pretty cool. And you've never held any office elected anywhere in Arizona?
No, sir. In fact, I was never on student council. Never anything like that. I'm a citizen through and through. I'm a we the people through and through.
What prompted you to do this?
I was just going to ask, what was the driving force?
Yeah,
Where did this come from?
because believe me, with me running, I've learned so much of how mudslinging, people attacking you, people you thought were friends are now enemies, and I don't get it. Looking back on it, I don't know if it's a good idea to do it, because it affects every aspect of your life.
It really does. It really does. And if you can hang tough, right? You know that there's a finish line somewhere, one way or another. There's a finish line.
I have a little thing here. My daughter gave it to me.
Oh, there
See?
you go. That's
Coffee
it.
cup things.
That's it.
Fight.
Fight. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a sprint. The whole thing is a sprint. It's not a marathon. Somebody said it's a marathon. Like, no, you sprint and then you really sprint.
Right.
And you just keep sprinting more.
Yeah, you're running.
But that's all right. So I came, so my husband and I just retired from our business. We have been publishers. We ran the business together, bought the business, ran the business together. Publishers, our publication was called Coffeegram. We put out 2 editions. Each, initially, we had 1 edition, picked up a 2nd edition. We were doing that weekly. We moved that to bi-weekly. More sanity in that move.
Yeah.
And we did custom print and advertising for people. We had whatever folks needed, they could call, and we would help them out with things. So we have maintained, over 22 years we've done that. So 1 edition over in Mingus, Verde Valley, 1 edition on this side of the mountain. And we got to talk to a lot of people. A lot of people read our publication, and the kind of things we put in our publication and the conversations on the phone. We got emails and phone calls, people just saying, hey, love what you do, keep it up. Also got phone calls about, because I like to put things in about our founding fathers. I like to put things in to cause people to think about how you're treating each other, right? Stronger families, right? Think about your relationships. And so I just little editorializing from here and there through the paper. And I began to be contacted. Hey, have you considered running for office? You're a voice that people trust.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started. But then there were some people who were in our community, readers, but more than that, people that we knew on a more personal level, that said they invited me to something, and they kind of ambushed me.
They lassoed you in there.
They ambushed me and said, hey,
Take her out of the comfort zone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We are losing our country. We're losing our county. We're losing so much.
Yeah.
And people trust you. Would you please consider coming to bridge some gaps? And so I was right off the bat, I was like, heck no.
Yeah.
Right. Heck no. But then I will tell you how it went down. They asked me 3 times, and all 3 times I said, no, we're about to retire. We have plans. We have things to do. And I agree with you. We are in so much trouble. But what can I do? Right? I had a voice. I was using my voice in the community. And so they said, well, we have some thoughts about that. And I said, no. Well, I was home by myself one day. Me and the dog, but the dog was in another room. And I just felt like I was thinking in my mind, wow, I can't even imagine what life would look like if I would agree to do this or even pursue doing this. And about that time, I could just hear in my mind's eye and in my heart, however the Lord speaks to you, he spoke to me. And you know what he said to me? He said,
you better run.
No, he said, did you ask me before you told those people no?
Oh,
No, I didn't ask him. I just assumed it was way too crazy.
yeah.
So he said, guess what? We're going.
Oh, right on.
Awesome.
Right on.
And so we did.
And here we are.
And here we are. So I thought we were done. I did that. He said, do that.
Wow.
I did that. And then more people came, asked this next time around. And my husband and I went through a lengthy period of prayer and consideration and asking for wisdom amongst people that we trust, and mostly the Lord. And the Lord made it clear, yep, we're going to go again.
There you go.
So here we are.
Awesome.
You have done some other things besides the publications that you were involved in, and part of that is Second Amendment stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
I'm so happy to be part of that. Again, I thought it was a crazy idea. Okay, my husband's last name, Wildman. This man only knows full steam ahead. And
Right.
he only knows, let's try new
Love
things. Let's have adventures, right? Let's do new things.
Yeah.
I was kind of the play it safe gal, Little House on the Prairie looked good to me.
Yeah.
And my husband said, we need to do this. We need to do this. And so we applied for an FFL together. And so we held the license together. And we did several things, but the thing that we kind of were, I guess, the best at, I'd like to tell people our niche was to put people into affordable, appropriate home protection. So the wife's hand is not the same size as the husband's hand, right? If she's home, she needs something she's comfortable with, and you consider the distance from the bedroom to the front door. And then you consider, are there neighbors? How much power, needs to happen here, right? And are there youngsters in the home? And so we tried to direct people towards something that would be appropriate for them within their budget. And so a lot of times it was a weapon that was formerly owned by someone else. Sometimes we put them in something new. So we would ask what they would be interested in and then help to guide them if they were interested in that.
So
that's what we did. And we did it for 12 years.
oh, wow.
Yes, but I don't know if many people know this. You might know this. Upon signing up or applying, if we want to say that, for the license, we had to end up submitting a floor plan
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big.
home, not where we kept our records, our home.
Yeah.
They wanted to know where my children's bedrooms were. They wanted to know where the windows were. They wanted to know where the hallways were.
That almost sounds like kind of letting the SWAT guys know, huh?
Well, this was not too far after we had Ruby Ridge and we had things going on. And I was very concerned about that. My dad taught me to really value my privacy, and that once you let something go, you're not getting it back.
Yep.
Here I am. I just like, okay, Dad, I know you're seeing all this, but I hope you're proud of me.
Remember,
So
you had permission. You had permission.
Yes. He and the Lord must have had a talk up there before I got permission. But yeah, so my dad, highly influential in my life, but we enjoyed the years, but each time we renewed our license, we ended up with fewer and fewer rights available to us. And there came a day when I said, I'm concerned that at some point we're going to cross a line and not be able to get our rights back. And so I told my husband, if you want to go forward, I support that. We're doing something important for people. But I went out, I wanted my rights back. I began to get nervous about my rights not maybe coming back. And there was nothing on the wall saying, hey, you're going to lose your rights. I want to be clear. Nobody said you're going to lose your rights. But you can kind of look down the road and see potentials.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
That
it's been
concerns
out
me.
there because the
Mhm.
guys that at the time things were legal where you could make an 80% lower and they call them ghost guns now, but you could lawfully make one.
Mhm.
You can build an AR, you can
Mhm.
put together a 1911 or a Glock, and then in came the FRTs, and ATF started passing all these rules saying, and then going after people. What was that rare breed that manufactured FRTs? They got served a search warrant. They got shut down. Their mailing list.
Right.
Everybody that bought one, then
Right.
ATF went around to everybody's house. That all changed this year, didn't it?
A lot changed, but I wanted to just go back a little bit. While we had our FFL, we were also homeschooling,
Right.
and we owned a printing press.
Oh wow, that's that's kind of everything the founding fathers built this nation on,
right,
isn't it?
Right. So that's why I began to be like, okay, I don't want to end up having some sort of an issue with my children, right? Or my business shut down because somebody decides to kick up some dust.
Yep.
Or whatever else. So that was my motivation. It was preservation of hearth and home and our livelihood.
Right.
So we both agreed at that point. So I will say it's a secret. You want to know a secret?
What's that?
I'll just tell everybody right here. I never submitted my fingerprints.
Oh wow.
I still own my fingerprints.
Oh wow. Well, both me and Rich being in the with me in the military and both of us in law enforcement, we've given our fingerprints all over the place.
More than once.
And
Certainly.
It's one of those things now. All you have to do is wear gloves wherever you go.
Right.
Huh.
Right. And if you sweat enough, they don't stick too bad.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like it's
or you
starting to warm up in here.
spray WD-40 on the knob after you touch it. And
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I shouldn't tell that secret.
Yeah, you learned that from a cop.
Okay. My husband
someone
did
once
submit
told me
his
that-
fingerprints. So if anybody's concerned, we did not lawfully have our license at that time. So my agreement with him was that he said they want prints. And I'm like, you can submit yours if you want to, but I'm not going to. I'm just not. And so he said, well, we'll submit with just mine. And they took it.
Okay.
So I moved on.
It's kind of funny that the recent rulings that we just went through with the FRTs, with suppressors, all that stuff. Somebody had posted on social media, why do we even have the National Firearms Act anymore? That needs to kind of go away.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of truth to that, because here's what was happening when me and Rich were still working. Our borders under Biden, under Obama, were open. And guess what? They were sending lots of guns south, lots of them, stolen guns, whatever they could do. And
I'm more worried about what's coming north.
yeah, well, north now is cartel members and
Shoulder-fired rocket missiles.
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or suitcase nuclear weapons. Somebody on another show said that there's at least 1,000 Al-Qaeda fighters illegally in the country now.
Could that be a low estimate?
What's that?
Could that be a low estimate?
It probably is, but look at all the stuff going on. And anyway, as an Arizona legislator, how are you going to protect Arizona citizens from this shit?
Yes.
I don't mean,
We're not
plain
filtered.
talkers. We aren't scripted.
That's
and we
it.
aren't
That's it.
censored.
That's it.
The only filter we have is
right.
right here on the mic, and that's it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's the only filters.
I like to plain speak myself. I might not use all the words, but I do like to plain speak.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've learned something super interesting. The Arizona Constitution is actually firmer on some things as far as our Second Amendment rights than our U.S. Constitution. Now they pair well together. I'm not saying there's something wrong, but because we have this beautiful thing called states' rights, right? We can choose how we want to do things here. And we had legislators at the helm that had an opportunity to strengthen, which is what that's the premise that I'm speaking to people about. I want to strengthen what we have remaining and to restore what we have lost.
Right.
Wherever I can make that happen. And so I just love it that this was put in place to strengthen. So it goes along with we have, we shall not be infringed, right? That just means what it means. But there are various arguments with the U.S. Constitution, and each of them kind of ended up leaving some open doors. Arizona came in and closed those doors. And so we are not at risk going the California way unless we have people who come and sit in those seats who decide to play a little fast and loose.
Yeah.
So the protections are there. Which I find to be comforting.
Well, I know going through that as a law enforcement officer, when we went through the magazine bans and the assault rifle bans and all that, we obviously had some exemptions as law enforcement, but it made life so difficult here. And I've had conversations years back with so-called conservative Republicans who moved here from like Washington or from Connecticut, New Hampshire, and they go, well, we don't think people should have high-capacity magazines, or we don't think you should have an AR-15. You can't hunt with it. Well, that's not what the Constitution says.
It's not the point. Not the point.
Yeah.
The reason we need those things is the point. The point is it protects us from the tyrannical ones who would come for us.
Yep.
And if you have something high-powered, something that is automatic, you can take care of some pretty good business if you have to.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
No.
Nobody wants that. But the fact that we are armed and they just keep coming for our arms tells you, look behind the curtain. It's not that hard to figure out.
No one wants to pay for car insurance, but we pay for car insurance in case.
Exactly. These are in case. These are in case.
Absolutely.
And there are some really fun ways to put some of those things together, on your own. I don't love the fact that your name has to go on, for instance, a suppressor. One of my kids bought a suppressor. One of my sons bought a suppressor, and his name had to go on a list. And it was months before it came.
Yeah. Now I heard it's been a little streamlined because we have a great president. We got great people in positions that are changing some of the rules. The Supreme Court ruled about some of the rules that ATF was making that were unconstitutional, which is really nice. And I'm still a little confused, and maybe your husband knows, but the FRTs, I've watched videos on them for ARs, and it's a forced reset trigger. And having built M16s, put them back together in the military, they have full auto select fire components. And yet the force reset seems to be the ones I've seen out there. They have single shot or semi-auto, and then they have a selector on it. I don't get it. Are select fire guns legal now? I have no idea.
Things are changing. They're changing quickly, and it's hard to keep up with all the things. And I think that's one of the tactics of those who want to separate us from our protections, is just bring a lot of things at one time, and you can't SWAT everything.
Yeah.
So it takes all of us being vigilant and observing, right? Yeah. Keeping an eye on things. We have to keep asking the questions. We have to keep aware of what's going on. And as we know, as things happen in California, it kind of leaks out. So I was reading where California doesn't have that Second Amendment protection that Arizona does with our Constitution, and so they're stuck with what they have.
Yeah.
And so they actually work out as a test case for the things they want to try because they're stuck. All they have for protections is the U.S. Constitution. This is why states' rights is so important. I'm a native Texan. I grew up hearing about state rights. That was always important in the culture I grew up in. And here we are seeing it play out. So when we were growing up, it might not have seemed like that big of a deal, but in the background, things were moving and shifting. And so with California not having the ability to put a lid on, so things just come and come and come and come there. And if they get something through, then boom, the effort is to try to spread that out to the other states.
Right.
So gratefully, we have some protections here. It would be great to see other states do the same. They need to be protected. And isn't it great that we have a president that agrees that we need to protect ourselves? We need to have the ability to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
And it has, because
Right.
look at all the things going on. Los Angeles street takeovers, Antifa. And it's funny, they go, oh, Antifa's not an organized group. It's not an organization. It's just, a bunch of people getting together. They burn buildings. They do all that.
Did you hear about the big rally the last day or two in Dearborn, Michigan?
No, I didn't.
Google it later.
Okay.
A little eye-opening.
It's crazy what's going on. And people, you look at the subway in New York, you can randomly be riding the subway and you get beat up, pushed on the track, stabbed, all kinds of stuff in New York.
There was a time back in the day, probably you remember in your lifetime. Now, I never went to New York. Texans didn't do that. I'm teasing.
Oh.
But there were children who their moms or dads would put them on the subway to go to school or go to grandma's, and they could travel.
Right.
It was okay.
Right.
It was still a little risky, probably not the best idea, but it was a reasonable idea. And I don't even know of adults that are okay with going anymore. So
no.
The more, and isn't it interesting? We've seen this. I know I'm just like preaching to the choir here, but as we see an area of our country remove protections from people, and the people are either voting these people in or they're agreeable to letting that stuff go.
I don't understand it. Yeah.
I don't understand that. And then they become like Europe, where okay, they got to have rocks and hammers and.
Ironically, you said like Europe. Well, guess who just said good evening, troops?
Oh,
he's a veteran he was on our show. He's from the UK, and he's very outspoken about the third world takeover of Europe. And we've seen what's been going on in Ireland and Europe. And Andrew, actually a younger, everybody's younger than me now, even Rich.
me too.
But he came on the show with his friend Simon, and we spoke for 2 hours.
Wow.
And he was telling us all the stuff that they don't show on the news. Yeah. And this young man here, there's kind of a push. And if Andrew's listening, actually, you know what? Hey, Andrew, you want to come on? I'm going to add you.
Hi, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling us the truth.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed that broadcast when you had Andrew and Simon on. I had some things to take care of, but
where did the chats go?
Hopefully see him in the future.
Yeah, they want to come back on the show. It's crazy.
Down one more on the bottom. There you go.
Okay, I know he's going to be there any moment.
How do I do this?
Andrew, thanks for coming out and sharing the truth with people. Our news, if you want to call it news, our stream of information is not accurate. It's not accurate. And we really, we live in a bubble here and we don't know what's going on. Just know that we don't like that. We would like to know what's going on. So thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hang on, I'm going to message him on Facebook, give him the link, let him pop in.
Yeah, those main channels that we all grew up with, it's not journalism anymore. It's one-sided rhetoric, and it's sad that,
There he
we
is,
don't
right
put the
there.
truth out.
Message. Sending you the link here, Andrew.
Well,
They
hopefully
call him. They call him. Oh,
Angry
shoot.
Andrew.
It says he's not. Yeah, they call him Angry Andy. See?
Oh, I see that. I
Yeah.
don't blame him. You know, everything he knows and loves and wants is just been ripped from his hands. And what kind of future is there for further, future generations? And I just want you to know, Andrew, I grieve for you. Been praying for all of Europe and everywhere this is happening. It's not right. It's not right.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, I sent you a link. So if you want to pop on, be our guest. And I thought when you guys were on the show last time, you and Simon, I thought we'd have a hard time and we'd need an interpreter, but we didn't. It was fun. And you got some real bad stuff happening over there. And
Yeah.
we'd like to get you on. Shawn Dell here is running for Arizona legislature, and she's pro Second Amendment, pro gun. Oh, and there's a couple more things we were going to ask you.
Yeah.
And you have stacks of things that you were prepared. Anyway,
Let's get the word out to the folks while we're waiting for Andrew.
what about DEI?
Right. I can't believe it's still a thing.
Yeah, well, it
It's still a
is.
thing.
We got a Democrat governor.
Right,
Of
right.
course it's here.
I mean, I know it is, but it kind of blows the mind that it's still here, right?
Some of it, yeah.
The covers have been pulled off of it. We know what it is. We know where it comes from. The amazing thing is that there are people who still have their children being subjected to that. So first and foremost, I am all about parents' rights. I homeschooled my children. My oldest was a child prodigy, smarter than his mom. And he was quick to tell you that too. But he would not have done well in a public school setting. We could not afford an appropriate private school. There were no appropriate private schools. So that began my journey into homeschooling. And he was able to thrive with homeschool. He had lessons, but he had room and time to pursue interests and skills that God built into him. And he has explored creatively in all kinds of ways. His life is in a great place.
Those skills when you're homeschooled are like when you're a little boy, you learn men's skills, working, fixing things, changing a tire. Because I can tell you, the kids, the boys coming out of public schools can't change a tire. They've eliminated shop classes.
They have to
And
YouTube
who's
it.
that guy, Mike Rowe, who talks about it?
Yep.
I mean, you can earn more money
Yes.
in a trade,
Yes.
a skilled trade, than
Yes.
going to college to learn basket weaving and social platform
And
crap.
you have a smaller student debt to pay back too, and
Yeah.
you're able to get to work right away.
Yeah.
So he thrived. He was the only child for about 6 years, so he had a lot of attention. And we did lots of camping, lots of being outdoors. And he grew up with arms in the home, and to this day he keeps something close by. And all of my sons enjoy that. My youngest son is an avid hunter. At this point, he's in Texas, and he enjoys, he's a salesman. And so one of the things he does is he offers incentives to his clients. One of the incentives is to take his clients for
Hog hunting.
Oh, way better than that. Exotic hunts.
Oh, they got a lot out there in
They
Texas.
do. So the African things, large ones, small ones, whatever it is that the client wants.
Yeah.
So my son's sending pictures all the time, and his freezer's full of all kinds of fun things. And deep sea fishing, his freezer's full of all kinds of fun things that way too. So when we go visit him, we're really treated to quite the smorgasbord of exotic meats, and it's way cool. He really enjoys that. And our middle son, same way. He keeps things close by, and none of us talk about it, and we just do it.
You don't need to advertise.
They
sound very American.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. He sounds like an American man.
Yes.
Yes. He doesn't have a ponytail, does he?
No, my boys all have short hair. One of them has a big beard.
Oh, there
He's
you
got
go.
the beard. My youngest son has the shorter beard. It's a little more groomed. Not the small groomed, but he's furry. But he has to keep it professional, right?
Yeah.
So it looks great.
And does he have any of those pronouns attached to his name, like he, them, she, it, whatever?
You know what? The other day I was adding somebody to my contacts on my phone, and it asks you what are their pronouns. And I thought, I'm going to be ready for that. If someone asks me what my pronouns are, I'll be the first to know. I'm just telling you all the secrets today.
Yeah.
My pronouns are child of God.
Yeah, there you go. And
it.
it's funny because I've been, as I'm learning life, getting older, and I have a little bit more time to study things. I read, I do different things. I found a book that kind of helps me, and it's 1 Minute with God for Men, 365 devotional things for every day of the year, even leap year, I'm assuming. But it talks about things. It talks about leadership. It talks about, what was it? For the other day, I posted it on Facebook. It was about the 4th of July and supporting the government and, different things. And it gives actual passages out of the Bible. So it's kind of cool to get started in it. If you haven't seen anything like that in a long time.
You recommend it?
Yeah, I actually do. It was kind of cool because, the one today that I read was on leadership, which is funny because here you are and running for office, and it had some good things to say about leadership. And yeah, it was kind of cool. So I'm kind of getting into it a little bit.
That's awesome. You can't beat the word of God for one, authenticity, but way better than that is just pure D, wisdom, and truth. So in a time where so back to the DEI, right? Where's the wisdom and truth there? It's not there. And it's fracturing the minds of our children.
Yeah.
And I learned something too. So I'm just going to say it because I'm going to plain speak. Our schools are struggling with their budget. They always do. I'm not sure why. I'm trying to dig into some things that
could it
I
be
have
the
question marks.
union?
I think it's bigger than that.
Really?
I think it's bigger than that. I think we have holes. I think our education buckets have holes, and I'm not sure what all is happening. But I learned that DEI is incredibly expensive. So if we just look at it as a budget problem, maybe that would, help us kick it to the curb.
Yeah.
Right? We cannot afford this.
So what you're saying is Elon Musk needs to visit Arizona with Doge.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah. I know that. Do you know, and I'm going to probably butcher her last name, Terry Ann Horahan. She's running as an independent.
I don't know her myself, but I have heard of her.
Yeah, she's got a PhD, really smart, independent. She's actually a conservative. She's been on our show.
Yep.
And she was saying when Minnesota, and we did the show about the time they were discovering the Leering Center in Minneapolis and all the fraud being committed by immigrants. And
but we have to remember, okay, it's committed by immigrants, but who paved the way for them?
Yeah.
It wasn't immigrants that paved the way for them.
No.
So we have people in traitorous behaving traitorously.
Yeah.
Is that a
And
word? I think I made up a word, traitorously.
I
treason.
like it.
Yes,
Well,
traitorously treasonous.
yeah. She
Yeah.
was saying when I said Minnesota and we talked about Minnesota, she goes, Arizona's number 2.
Yes, yes, yes. Waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah,
Waste, fraud, and abuse.
and it's with DES, other programs they do. I know that there's been an internet rumor, I don't know how true, that Katie Hobbs is under investigation for pay for play for some care facilities or something. I don't know that I haven't followed it, but
I don't have documentation, and I really kind of stray away from things I don't have documentation for, but I'm familiar with that rumor.
yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
crazy.
Familiar
Now-
with the rumor.
Yeah,
We can only hope. We pray.
yeah,
You know what? God himself is the righteous judge.
yeah,
And he's watching, he's observing, and I believe he's looking at and for people who will stand up for what is right, even in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. That's what the scriptures call it. And are we not there?
yeah,
Right? So I would rather, I fear him more than I fear any people, any organization, anybody. I'm accountable to him. I speak with him. He speaks with me, and he says, go here, talk about that.
yeah,
And I get those messages from his word. I'm in his word regularly. And just like you were saying, you're reading and you're saying, oh, this is a nugget for today, right?
yeah, it is.
It's a nugget for today.
And you know, this nation was founded on Christian principles.
Yes, it was.
It was founded on that because we left tyranny from England
Mm-hmm.
250 years ago yesterday, and we never looked back. And Andrew, I don't know if he's still listening. It looks like he may be offline, but he was talking about it over there. You would never think that this could happen here. You can never think that. Actually, you need to be prepared for things like that to happen. And it's funny, when COVID came around, the fake little deal that was, it's funny because there were people going out buying toilet paper. If you live up here in the middle of nowhere, you can definitely buy other things other than toilet paper.
Amen.
Because if you camp, you hunt, you do that.
You need more brass.
Yeah, you need brass, a reloader, more
brass.
ammo, more ammo.
I'd rather buy brass than tissue.
Yeah.
You
And
can make do. You can make do. Brass, you
The
can't
other
replace
thi-
that.
The other thing that came out about COVID was people started thinking, those guys that are preppers really aren't that crazy
Right,
anymore.
Right? Suddenly it made sense.
Yeah.
So yes, so this is the idea of resiliency, and that's something I've been talking to people about. Resiliency. We are I feel that in Yavapai County we are not as resilient as we need to be.
Yeah.
We waffle with everything that comes through. We're grappling with everything that comes through rather than being prepared for what comes through. So that idea of preparedness, basically it's the Boy Scouts.
Yeah. It's the Boy Scouts.
Why are we not doing
before
that?
Yes. Before they were hijacked.
Yes.
Right.
Everything good's been infiltrated. And this is why I'm talking about restoring what's been taken, right? Strengthen what we have, restore what's been taken.
Yeah.
These are our rights, our way of life. And this is how we want to live here.
Right.
And if, there are other ways to live in other places. So I'm one to stand up in resistance.
Okay.
Awesome.
And on that subject, we got another local issue, and Rich is well aware of it because I kind of mentioned it to him before and to Andrew. The windmills. We're getting they want to put a wind farm in south of Seligman, and it's on a ranch, but it kind of borders Prescott National Forest, state trust land, and private land. And there's 70 some odd 600-foot windmills like they have in Palm Springs, like they
What a
just
beautiful sight
did
that
in,
is.
oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And they got one, you know, when I was a truck cop working out of Kingman, they were building one at White Hills.
Okay.
And White Hills, for anybody out there that doesn't know where White Hills, Arizona is, let me tell you where it's at with a little bit of a twang. You go up Highway 93 like you're going to Vegas. People go to Vegas all the time. And on your way up, on the east side of that highway, there's a mountain range and they call it White Hills. There's a giant friggin' wind farm there now with 100 or more wind turbines that took forever to build. It tore up the landscape, the mountains, everything. So these environmentalists have their heads somewhere where the sun doesn't shine because those windmills have been known to kill bald eagles, nesting birds, all
What
kinds
could
of
go
stuff.
wrong? What could go wrong?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And they've been known to catch on fire. They got lithium batteries that you can't put out with water.
Well,
Well-
my question would be for windmills and all this stuff. Why do electric rates keep going up everywhere? If they're instilling all these solar farms and windmills, why are rates still going up? Shouldn't they be coming down
There
just a
you
little
go,
bit?
asking good questions now. I mean, come on.
It's just a thought. I mean, someone's getting something out of this.
Right.
And
Well,
it's not electric.
you want to know who's getting the benefit? And I know this for a fact. On the White Hills Solar Farm, California, they're getting all the power from that solar farm. And that's what's going to happen here in Seligman. Why? Because California's environmental rules say they can't build anymore in their desert areas because of environment. They're using all the things that I mentioned, animals, endangered species, destroying the wilderness. So they won't build them, but they'll come here in Arizona. And you know, it even goes farther back. What's that town? Rich will remember that town where we had the train derailment.
Hyder,
That was it.
Arizona,
Yeah.
down toward Yuma.
Did you know there's a landfill there that takes hazardous materials from California? They truck them in and dump them there. You know, and I hate to get off on a tangent because
Same with
this
their
is
people.
your
They
show
truck them
today.
in and dump them here.
Yeah, but the problem is, let's go a little further back. And if you pardon me for a second, I actually looked it up. It is awesome. This is Arizona at its finest. And
We're a little rowdy over here, you know,
oh, we're more than rowdy.
and we have to find that rowdy voice. I've been saying that to people as I've been out speaking, that resiliency is about a mind shift. It's nobody's coming to rescue us. So it's us.
Yeah.
We have to put that in our mind.
Get out
Rather
and
than
speak.
continue to hire people that don't represent us, they manage us, right? Let's hire people that represent us,
Better
and
leaders.
let's be proactive with them. So together, right, we can take care of what we need to take care of. This is the resiliency. It's we the people.
Yeah, and that's been our founders' thing all
That's the way it
along.
started. That's the way it's meant to go. We're not meant to pass off our responsibilities and hope other people follow through with our interest in our best. So we have people that are not necessarily interested in our best interest, right? In fact, maybe even they're interested in going clearly the other way. So we, the people, it's on us. It's incumbent on us to be sure that we are taking care of us. This is our way of life, right? This is our home.
Mhm.
It's on us. And so the fact that we've gotten kind of out of control, that's on us too. That's on us too. But we can remedy.
Yeah,
We have a lot of
And-
fixing.
I'm having technical issues pulling it up. So what it was in the early 1900s, and it was, I think, Governor Buchanan.
Mm.
here in Arizona. California was building the Parker Dam, and they were building the dam to divert water from the Colorado River to California. The governor, and if it would pull up, I could tell you exactly. He ordered the Arizona National Guard to go sit on our side of the Colorado River and shoot any construction worker going to work to build the dam. Then he also got 2 boats, ferries from the Colorado River, to be Arizona's Navy. And
Right. You wouldn't think Arizona had a Navy, but they
Yeah, I
did.
like that.
it's an awesome story. And if anybody wanted to learn about it, it's called the Arizona Parker Dam War. We actually went to war with California.
Wow.
There's been other things over time with agriculture and some bug that was coming in. They quarantined everybody in Blythe or in California on their side. But that's what we've been up against the entire time. California doesn't really respect Arizona and their leadership over there. Oh yeah, we could dump our hazardous waste over there. We could still do anything we want. We can build friggin' solar farms.
Well, the thing is their leadership doesn't respect themselves. So
Yeah.
they're not going to respect anybody else.
Well, they don't have
So-
leaders. They're just managing people.
Managers, right? Not
I wouldn't say
representatives.
leaders. A leader is something
Right.
Special.
Right.
Now, if the wind farm that they're proposing is on private ranch land,
Mhm.
the county's the one with the keys to it. But when the land, and you know how land is up here, it's checkerboarded.
Mhm.
State trust land, then a whole bunch of Forest Service land, and more checkerboarded private land, state trust land. How would the state get involved in something like that?
I pulled up. So if you'll pardon me, I have notes because I want to speak accurately, and I want to tell you what I came up with.
Okay.
So I just want to be clear that I'm not for,
As a citizen,
because I'm not elected. I'm a candidate. I'm not elected. As a citizen, I don't live that far from here. And if one goes up, that's just going to be the model for whatever else. And it
right?
could show up in everybody's backyard. So
Yeah.
we need to be supportive for what's happening over in this direction. So first and foremost, like you mentioned, this is a local control issue. And that's actually something I'm running on, local control, rather than someone from the Capitol saying how you have to live, right? So local control issue. Okay, so the local people say we don't want this, right? So
Right.
there's a process. Now, just so we're all clear, a state house member has no permitting authority over the thing. So if I was a state legislator, I would have no permitting authority. However, we'll go further. At this point, there's to our knowledge, there's been no application filed, right?
Right.
So you're in the best possible seat right now. So my suggestion is that you keep showing up to each and every meeting and poke around if they're having meetings. I'm not saying there are, but anytime, be aware of meetings, whether they're easily discoverable meetings or somebody has to just be a detective.
Right.
Find those meetings, right? So keep showing up to the meetings and the hearings and get your comments on the record. And you do that by written. You want to flood the record with written comments. Okay, that's the will of the people, written comments. You would also want to call and even have a face-to-face chat with your local supervisor that's on the board of supervisors. We have one in our area that is aware of what's going on, right?
Right.
So a conversation over the phone or maybe even in person. I think he's fairly amiable to meeting with
Yeah,
people.
he actually came up to the meeting, and
There you
from
go.
what I understand, he opposes it. But the problem is, you can get one or two to oppose it, and the other ones that live way over there in Camp Verde or
Yes.
something go,
Yes.
yeah, it doesn't affect
Right.
me. What do I care?
It doesn't affect me yet. It doesn't
I
affect
can't see
me
it from
yet,
my house. You know?
right? Can't see it from my house. Those lights flashing all night, I can't see that.
Yeah.
So becoming one loud, organized community beats 100 scattered complaints, right?
Yep.
This is our right to come together with others who are like-minded to stand up for what we believe in. This is our right. And if we don't exercise it, that's on us, right?
Yep.
That's on us. So you want to, the other thing is there's a gap. There's a gap. So you want to ask the county for real wind rules. So right now, people can have a little bit of wind generating devices on their property, not a problem. But where we don't have a coverage is scaling on a utility level. There's nothing.
Yeah, or
There's nothing.
commercial.
That's
Yeah.
right. There's nothing for that. You need to be aware of that, right?
Actually, the state, because of the volume of state trust land everywhere,
Yes.
the state legislature could
Yes.
enact
Yes.
legislation
Absolutely.
to govern.
Just overall to close that so that there is something that applies to everybody. So it's not a case by case decision.
Yeah,
Right.
because as we're finding out, you know, Cochise County might do things a little differently than up here,
Mhm.
but if there's a state law,
Mhm.
and you know, deputy sheriffs, you know, Rich, when you give a ticket for something, it's generally a state statute, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speeding, state
ARS.
statute, no insurance, ARS. You know, stabbing somebody, that's a charge in the Title 13. And you know, they have a lot of drug things in there. They got gun things in there, firearms, prohibited possessor, different things. I think the state can actually enact that. In fact, on that topic with firearms,
Mhm.
Tucson was going to melt all their guns,
Mhm.
and the state stepped in and said, no, they're to be auctioned.
Right.
Because, you know, this, and pardon my French, but the state has a tendency to piss money away.
Mhm.
They just throw money at something.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah,
We
and
had to work for it, but it kind of came easy for them.
yeah, it's just like unbelievable. And
Loud voices can change a lot of things.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. And if you can group up and you have a group of people and you're working as one unit, right? So the thing is what you would want to also attract are people who are not necessarily in District 4. You would want to attract people from all of the districts to say, they're starting in my backyard, but they're coming for yours.
yeah,
And so that would apply pressure to each of the districts,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I found some other things that I thought was going to be helpful. One would be, let's say in a wild world, you would say, okay, y'all can come and do that, but we got a list of conditions. And you can make that list of conditions so high, so tough, they might be like, yeah, we're out.
it's going to cost too much
Right.
money.
Yeah, we're out. That's a defensive tactic, right? So things like setbacks from homes, noise and dark sky limits, the FAA lighting. Nobody wants that. So, you know, you can have some conditions attached to the permit, and then a decommissioning bond, because you know those things tend to get abandoned.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's graveyards of them everywhere.
Yes. So that's something, and that will prevent the taxpayers from being burdened with the expense and the hassle of removing the dead structures. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So also you could request a review for wildlife, and we have another thing super interesting. I thought this was really helpful. If the power line goes to the State Corporation Commission, it needs a certificate from them. So if there's a power line, it has to be there's a parameter, but there's a certain kind of power line. And if they're going to use within that parameters, they have to have a certificate.
Yeah.
And then you get to show up to those meetings too. Okay. All right. So this is what I was proposing. We need those statewide guardrails and the decommissioning bonds, like we talked about. The legislature can also vote against subsidies that fund and vote against state tax breaks that benefit industrializing ranch land. That's something your legislator can do. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you guys hear that out there?
right?
Listen
I
up.
hope you're
Keep
listening.
talking it.
Pass the word.
That's it. So they also will. So the certification of environmental compatibility is issued through the Arizona Corporation Commission. So that would be your people to talk to also.
Right. And they happen to be running for office.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. This is an excellent time to have a conversation with them. Right. And then, so we're just kind of breaking it down. So we're aware of the path.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know that the Board of Supervisors, what they can do is land use, zoning, and permitting. Right. Mm-hmm. So they make those decisions. So that's kind of step one. So right now we have this is the language I want you to hear. There is no clear utility scale for wind siting statute. All right. That leaves us vulnerable. So that needs to be taken care of. In fact, that goes on into, say, other kinds of things that would want to become a utility. So it might be solar, giant solar farms or things like that. That would be a utility. There's no protections for us, and that might be. So we are a soft target. Again, that's on us.
Here's the funny thing about that with the county doing what they do in their infinite wisdom. If I wanted to do something here, I gotta jump through all kinds of permits to put a shed in or do this or put a septic in. I need perk tests. I need all this crap. Mm-hmm. But these big corporations like this can just come right in and hobnob all those guys, take them to dinner, do all kinds of things, and they get their way.
So good questions to ask are who pays for it, who benefits by it, who's responsible for it, and who's responsible in the long term, once they've done their thing and they're getting. And so if the energy, so in Arizona, I made a note about that too. I thought that was kind of interesting. In Arizona, your best leverage is before the application. But in Arizona, the utility that is created, there is language that says that utility that is created can leave. However, we're using our land, our resources. We have taxpayer dollars that are supporting that piece of land. However, that is state or federal or, whatever the local things are, the rules and regs on that. So we have to be asking the questions, who is making the decision to let that come in and why? Who's responsible for allowing that door to be open? So this is on us. We have to be asking, like Rich did, got to be asking good questions. And you have to find the person to ask those questions of, as well as keeping the questions coming until you're getting the results you want. Because you know what? The power belongs to the people. God owns all the power. The power is his. He's invested that power in us, in our beautiful republic. We are stewards of that power. And when we elect someone to represent us, we are sharing, I guess would be a way to say it. We're sharing that power with them, but we can yank it right back.
Well,
right.
Yeah, there was something I was going to mention to you. Many years ago, I went to some seminar. It was done by a gentleman who's a veteran. It's called the Tennessee Center of Self-Governance. And it had to do with smart meters. Mm-hmm. And the intro to the show was, or to his class, because you signed up to take a class. It was on smart meters. They had smart meters going into a neighborhood in like Tennessee, hence the name Tennessee. So they had like 6 people that didn't want them
Mhm.
that went around and found out about it. Well, then they went to the legislature and found out that the president of the legislature, of a woman, asked two new legislators, if you're not there for the vote, we'll help you get elected next time. They found out about it. And what happened was, it was just amazing. They went around door to door in neighborhoods, minority neighborhoods, everything, telling them about the smart meter, how they can just shut your power off, how they can, they know what you're doing in your house, all these different things, and all these people. And they said, here's when the legislators taking this up. So all these people piled in the gallery, and they contacted those two states legislators that we heard this was going to happen. You were going to vote but we're not going to. You're not representing your people if you don't show up to vote. And so those two guys showed up. The Senate president was there, and they had the gallery filled, and they said all they did was sit up there and go like this.
There you go.
And it didn't get passed. And they started this organization, Tennessee Center of Self-Governance. It flowed into Arizona because I don't know who's doing it still here in Arizona, but it's mrspowell.org.
Oh.
And you guys know who Mrs. Powell is?
I don't.
She was like the mayor of Philadelphia's wife when they signed the Declaration of Independence, and Benjamin Franklin came out of the meeting, and she happened to be there, and she goes, "What type of government?"
That was the one who asked the question.
She
I
asked
didn't
him.
know her name. I knew the question. Mrs.
So
Powell.
mrspowell.org. So if you,
I wrote it
she
down
asked-
to read about it tonight.
yeah, she actually said to him, "What type of government did you give us?" And he said,
A republic, if you can keep it.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
And that
Well,
was,
hopefully we can keep it and get the right people elected, get people off their sofas, and get those conservative, smart folks in office that are fighting for the people, not themselves.
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what's super, super critical? I know that when I've been in Arizona since 81.
I've been here since 1959.
Wow. Well, my husband went to Texas to go to school. That's where I grew up. And we met our senior year of high school. And we dated a couple years, two years and maybe a half, something like that. And we got married. And 4 hours after the wedding, my husband said, "You realize we're moving to Arizona."
Yeah.
That was news. That was brand new news.
Well, where's this cowboy hat?
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
We're-
thought he
we're
was
happy to
very
have you.
exotic. I thought he was exotic because I'd never known anybody from Arizona. I don't know if I even knew anybody from outside of Texas. So
Yeah.
he was very clean cut, and he always dressed nicely. He was well mannered, and
And still is all those things. I'm
Cowboys
sure.
are awesome. Don't get me wrong. Love cowboys, but I had determined before I was done with my teen years, not the Marion kind. Not for me.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun, but not the Marion kind.
Is
So he was the Marion kind. I just didn't know it included
there?
moving to Arizona.
We're kind of running a little bit past,
Okay.
but is there other things you wanted to mention real quick, like other things you're working on, other things you're going to do, open door policies, anything like that? Now's your chance, and go.
All right. Well, I am a we the people. I'm coming as a citizen legislator. I'm not a politician. I have no intentions of being one. I have every intention of being your representative. I am looking to not be there. I'm not looking for career. I'm retired recently from our business. My husband and I are not looking for me to be tied down to a career. So I'm not looking for a long-term anything. Now, what that looks like, I can't tell you because I can't predict the future. But I can tell you, I'm not looking for a long-term job. I am here to see what I can do to help Arizona become more resilient. And so in that, my interest is to strengthen what remains and to restore what has been taken from us through erosion or by hook or crook or whatever. We just want our life back, don't we?
Yep.
And so what I'm telling people is that I'm running for 3 reasons. Those 2, and the other reason I'm running is because you are worth it. You are worth it. You're worth the fight. You're worth being represented. You're worth going through all the things that you have to go through as a candidate and to try to get through these things. You're worth it.
Yeah.
I'm here for you, and I'm here to listen to you. And that's what I've done is I've been out and about. I've done some talking, but mostly listening. I have just, you know what? Yavapai County is full of the most amazing people. It's humbling. These people are far more amazing than I am. And for them to even consider letting me come and kind of come into their bubble and represent them is very humbling. And I am very blessed to be endorsed by former Senator Judy Burgess. She is an active part of my campaign. She coaches me, and she is still a fireball, and she sends things to me. You need to see this, take a look at that. Let's talk about this. So she's right there. We think very much alike. And if you enjoyed being served by her, then we are very similar.
And
I'm also endorsed by Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
yeah, there
I have
you
a
go.
lifetime endorsement from him. He wrote me a letter. He said, use this endorsement for the rest of your life, as far as it might take you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is still every bit as lovely as he ever was. Still got a heart full of fire, and he still loves people.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I tried to get him on the show one time. I went to the Trump rally in Prescott when Trump was running, and
I did too. Was that at the airport? I was at the airport.
no, at the Tim's Toyota
at the
Center.
Tim's Toyota, yeah.
And we were sitting out in the VIP area because I'm not a big crowd person, and they had the big screen, and we were by VIP, and I missed him. Cash Patel parked the limo there, and then I met Glenn Beck, got a picture with him, saw Abe Hamady, shook his hand. He doesn't have a really powerful handshake. It's just...
It's true, but you know what? He's still got that lion heart.
I know.
He's still fighting. So, okay, his body might not be keeping up, but did you know he had no hobbies? No hobbies. He has no hobbies. His work is what he lives to do.
Wow. And then I saw Joe there.
Okay.
And I walked up to him and I said, Joe.
Did he recognize you?
No, he doesn't recognize anybody there, did he? No, it was funny. He'd see me in uniform when I had to go downtown, and he'd go, do you work for me?
Yeah.
You knew that, or what posse were you in? Or different things like that.
Don't
And
get me started.
I told him about the show. I actually even emailed somebody that helps him, an assistant or something.
Yes.
Never
Is that
heard back.
Kevin? Was it Kevin?
I think so.
Kevin's awesome.
But if you know, tell him about this. I mean, I mentioned to him that I worked one particular case, and he goes, oh, that got me in trouble. And I laughed. I go, it shouldn't have, because the guy was crooked.
Right. But you know what? Just like you were saying before we even got started, and Sheriff Joe saw that too, as he began to uncover beautiful lies.
Yeah.
Right? Beautiful lies that were covering ugly truths. As he began to uncover those beautiful lies and revealing the ugly truths, things really heated up for him.
Yeah, they did.
And they've never backed off. But you know what? Neither has he.
No.
Neither has he. He is still in the fight.
Well, one of the things that it did happen was it got us the court monitors at the sheriff's office, and the court monitors made life miserable. That's why I retired when I did, because I didn't want to see it anymore.
Right,
it was just destroyed.
Well, and anytime there's something good going on and making advances, there is going to be opposition. There just is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking people, as I'm going around, a couple of questions. One is, would you rather believe a beautiful lie or know an ugly truth. And I'm asking, would you rather be managed or represented? And so I'm asking people to apply that to anybody they are looking to vote for. And it can be hard to find the true nitty gritty stuff, but we must, because people can look really great.
Yep.
And then you get them in and you realize, oh, you mean they used to be on a different team? And,
Yeah.
You kind
Well,
of have buyer's remorse at some point. They start to show who they are.
yeah.
And it's easy to get a Republican name tag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's easy. You just fill out the paper and you got a Republican name tag.
Yeah. Well,
So does the life reflect that before they got there? Right.
yeah. Well, that guy I'm running against he's a Democrat. No two ways about it. TDS, everything. And it's funny now. I'm living rent free, and I call it CDS, curly
So I think
Love
that's
it.
hysterical. That's hysterical.
So-
I'm seeing some of that also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
Best of
rough,
luck. I
you
think
know?
you'll do great.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you, Rich.
he can't vote for you. He's down in.
Yeah, I'm down in Maricopa County.
Well, we lived down there when Sheriff Joe was at the helm, and I know we got to go, but I want to tell you. So 3 boys, right? 3 boys homeschooled, so you see everything when you're not sending them to school. You see all their thinking patterns, and you see all the things, right? And so one day, I guess it was the news was on, and my oldest son said, "Mom, our sheriff put men in pink underwear." And I said, "Yeah, that's pretty awesome." He's like, "No, boys don't wear pink underwear." I said, "Boys that go to jail wear pink underwear."
Yeah,
And he's like, "I'm not going to do that, Mom."
look up in the
So it was
corner.
a deterrent. Well, there you go. There you go. It was a
Well,
deterrent.
that actually came because a lot of the inmates were stealing the supply.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
So
Yep. Oh, very clever, man. I loved his use of the no kill shelter, and he healed hearts with the animals and the inmates by them being involved in that. Just genius, really.
yeah, we actually are going to be doing a show with the detective that's retiring that worked in that MASH unit.
Yes. Yes.
And that's still going on down there today.
Yes. Because
And-
great ideas linger. As long as you're not bumping somebody's truth, your idea can live. But
Yeah.
if you're bumping beautiful lies with ugly truth, then that stuff has to be pushed up against.
Yeah.
But that's all right. We have the God of the universe is keeping score.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, besides your big signs I've seen all over up here, how do they reach out to your campaign if they want to either donate time or money or things?
Well, my website is a great place to start. My website is wildmaninthehouse.com.
I like
That's
it.
pretty cool.
Wild man in the house.
wildmaninthehouse.com. Yes, I'm also available by email, which is info@wildmaninthehouse.com. Right? And if you want to get me on the phone, so we're at the end of the campaign and I am hustling like nobody's business. I'm sure you know how that is.
Yeah, the primary's coming up the 21st.
Sleep is an option at this point. It's not necessarily happening so much. And I owe many people comments back. People have been on my in my Facebook communications, and you're going to have everybody's got their opinions, and that's okay. I celebrate that. My dad was a veteran, and I remember as a kid, the American flag was being burned in the streets a lot. You probably remember that. And my dad said, I fought for their right to do that.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I don't appreciate it. And if you ever do that, I will whoop you into next week. But he said they have the right to do that. So people have a right to their opinions, and I celebrate that and support that. I don't necessarily agree with them. They don't have to agree
As long
with
as they're
me.
American citizens, they do.
Exactly.
That's
Legal
Exactly.
American citizens, they have a
Exactly.
right.
Because they're the only ones protected by our First Amendment, right? We don't protect the world with our First Amendment. We're protected.
Yeah.
We're protected. So I agree with you there.
Wake up, America! Get off the sofa.
Oh, we have to be so careful.
Hear the
So
voice.
I'm going to encourage anybody that's out there, in the future, instead of looking to a politician, why don't you jump in? The water's fine. The
Yeah.
water's fine. And people are very receptive to we the people. And that's my word of encouragement to we the people. Let's just do this together, right?
Yep.
There's more of us than them. And if we take all the seats, then better days ahead.
That's it.
Yep. I appreciate you coming on,
Thank you,
clearing
Curly.
things up. It's been fun.
Thank you, Curly. It has been fun. You're a fun guy.
Shawn
I
Wildman,
tried.
District 1. Vote.
Hey,
Who's
folks,
next week?
next week's show,
Uh-oh.
next week's show is with Kara Feynman, the sister of Shayna Feynman, who's gone missing up here. And she's going to come on and give us a little bit about the case, what's going on with it, what law enforcement's doing, what they know, what they don't know, and keeping that in the public's eye so that they can keep an eye out as well.
Yep.
So,
And then
Anyway.
on the 19th of the month, I think we have back for the 18th month review, the Sheriff of Maricopa County, Jerry Sheridan. I think that's
Yep.
the 19th, if I'm correct.
Wow.
yeah. All righty.
Exciting stuff ahead. Shawn, again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you for what you're doing to be supportive with Curly. Now that I know about his podcast, I'm going to be a regular listener.
Spread the
Oh,
word.
there you go.
I probably won't catch it live because Sunday afternoons in real life is nap hour.
Yeah.
Nap hour. But
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
All righty. Take care, folks.
We'll see you.
that's okay. They're allowed to have their opinions, right? They're allowed to have their opinions. And, you know, if you're effective, they come for you. If you're telling the truth, they come for you.
I don't know. And he's saying I'm a dirty cop, which isn't the case.
Right. Well, people are saying things about me that aren't true.
On the air.
Yep.
And I really don't care.